am someone who has left a career, left a job that a lot of people didn't understand why I left it, and started something out of nothing. So today's Ask Mare question is definitely up my street. We're gonna get to it. Welcome to the marathon. My name's Mare. Thanks so much for hanging out today. Remember, life's not a sprint, it's a marathon. If you would like to join the Marathoner family, you can do so in two ways. One, you can subscribe to my channel. There's a link just down below. We just hit 6,000 subscribers, so thank you very much, everybody who's already won. And if you would like to join the Marathoner Facebook group, there is a link in the description down below. So in the group, we often have people who leave questions, and then you answer the questions, and then this is one that came to me directly. So I thought it would be a good Ask Mare video because honestly I just had too many opinions to type it out, and I'm sure many of you can relate to this. So, and I know I can for sure. And this is a video that I would have appreciated like, I don't know, 5 years ago. So if you're in this position, feel free to also leave your own opinions and advice down below. She said, what are your thoughts on the idea that you have to love your job? How would you navigate the decision between a job you might like more but would limit your freedom, and a job that seems less fulfilling but would grant you more freedom to do the things that you love to do? It's hard to put it succinctly, but that's the best way I can think of to put it. So many variables, but I know you can give a lot of great advice. Well, thanks. I have so many thoughts on these things. So if you're new here, I'll just give you a bit of a quick backstory. My background is in broadcast journalism, and I did a morning radio show for years. I left that job in 2016. Actually, we are almost exactly 3 years to the day, to run my own business. And that was something that a lot of people disagreed with. Strangers, family, friends had a really hard time with understanding why I would leave a seemingly perfect job that was like super fun, and they heard us having so much fun on the air, to do something so unknown and way less stable, no benefits, owning my own business. Don't have any business training, never took a business course. Did I make a business plan? No. So a lot of people didn't understand it, and I get that, but it was definitely what was best for me. I had started, the previous October, I had started my side hustle, which ended up being my full-time business, which I'm still running now. And then I was able to quit because what I was making started to be more than what I was making on the morning show. And there was a lot of other factors as well. My now late husband, Jeremy, was really struggling. I needed to have way more flexibility. I needed to be at home more. We also have a son with special needs. So there was just a lot of factors for me that a lot of people didn't understand, and that was fine because I knew that it was best for me. And then it turned into like Jeremy could quit his job and he worked for the business as well. And then when he passed away a couple of years ago, it was even like much more fortuitous because I was working from home. If I had been on the morning show when Jeremy died, I would have had to quit my job and then had nothing. So that's sort of like my backstory. Do I think you need to love your job? There's a lot of like factors that go into it. So you spend a lot of time at work and you put in a lot of effort. Like I would see people at the radio station more than I would see my own family, which I'm sure is the case for a lot of you if you work full time. So no, I don't think it's okay to be in a toxic work environment. If you are going somewhere and you're there every single day and it's like worsening your mental health or your physical health or your confidence, like a toxic work environment is just a no-go for me, and that I can definitely relate to. So if it's toxic, that's different. If you just don't like every day of your job, nobody does. Like, sorry if this is like an adulting tough love moment, but no one likes their job every day all the time. There's things that, you know, you just have to do. But I do think that if you're at a job that, say, has really good health benefits, really good salary, it's maybe not fulfilling your soul to the nth degree, because you know, that's hard to come by. It's really important that then you have things outside of work that like fill up your cup, that fill your soul, that make you happy, that make you laugh, and like are super fulfilling. If you're only looking to your job to fulfill you and it's not, then I would recommend looking at everything else. Like, are you, you know, physically active? Are you taking care of your mental health? Are you social? Are you eating well? Are you going on trips? Like, if you're making all this money at a job you're not super happy with, maybe, you know, have a fulfilling life outside of work, like go on vacation or have a really nice home, whatever's important to you. So I think it's also totally fine to have a job that is less fulfilling if you're working on that side hustle or you're just like fulfilled in other ways. So for me, I had been ready to leave Sun for a very long time, but then when Thomas was born with special needs, that really changed the game because we needed benefits. I needed a full-time job and I just needed to go somewhere where I could work and not have to like worry about anything. So that was really important, but then obviously my priorities and my needs at home changed. So I knew that I wanted to leave, but I knew that I didn't want to leave town because Thomas's supports were so strong. And at the time I didn't think radio had a lot of transferable skills. So I really had to think of like, what can I do so that I don't have to be doing this job anymore, but I can stay in town and I can, you know, still make the money because I like to have a home and the food and things. So I just like created my business out of thin air. I saw a need in the community and a niche that wasn't being filled, and I approached a local business and asked. If you don't know what I do, I run a social media consulting firm, so I help local businesses with their social media and their video content, and like a lot of other things that have to do with marketing. But like, I don't have a marketing background, I have a radio background, and it just has really worked for me. So I saw that niche and I started with one business, and soon he was like, you need to do this full time. Can I tell my friends, like, this is so great, can I pay you to do this for all of my stores? So that really worked for me. So then it made it easier to go into my job knowing that I was working really hard on the side to up-level my life and up-level our future, and that one day I would be able to leave Sun and do that full time. I hope that makes sense. So I think if you are unhappy at work, it's really important to find something outside of work that is going to fulfill you, or start to work on a way, like a side hustle or a way in which that you can leave that job. If it's a job that you'd say don't have any intent on leaving, but you're just not happy, something that I have done is create a note in my phone and list all of the positives for that job. Like whether it's, you know, the salary, and that the salary can provide you with X, Y, and Z. Like make it like really specific and write out the minutia. Like you like this colleague, you like that you have flexibility, like really write it out. Keep a note in your phone for those really shit days when you need to like refer to it. Like, this is why I'm here, okay. Yes, we got this. And then if you're at a less fulfilling job, but you know that it's going to give you the freedom to pursue something else, whether it's a side hustle or it's just like you want to take like dance classes, or you want to learn to play the guitar, or you want to have more time with your family, or you want to travel more, like, I don't know, but you want to garden, whatever it is, make sure that you're doing that thing so that when you're at that job that isn't as satisfying, but it's giving you the flexibility and the freedom, you are staying true to yourself and you're up leveling in other ways. Hopefully all this is making sense to you. I think also it's really important to remember that none of this is permanent. So if you make a decision and you're at a job and you decide like, okay, I'm gonna do this, you don't have to do it forever. It's not like I picked this career and now this is my career till retirement. If it is, that's great. But I don't think many people stay in the same job from like high school to retirement. So give yourself some like grace and be kind to yourself and know that I'm gonna try this. And if this doesn't work for me, I'm gonna pivot, think of Ross on Friends, because we all think of that when you think of pivot, and then try something else. Like when I was leaving Sun, and so I mean hundreds of people would stop me, and for probably, I don't know, at least a year or two stop me and be like, why did you leave? How could you leave? We miss you. I knew that I was doing what was best for me. And I also didn't feel this like, oh, almighty like pressure. I thought, well, right now this business is making enough money for me to leave this work situation and be there for my husband and be there for my son. Do I see this as being like my job for the next 50 years? No. I sure don't. Like, who knows what social media is gonna look like? Who knows where I'm gonna live, what I'm gonna be doing, what Thomas's needs are gonna be? Obviously, I did not predict that this would be my future. So knowing that it can be fluid and it can shift and change depending on your needs and the market and what you all of a sudden want, I think that that can take just so much pressure off. Like, I did talk to this marathoner privately and really tried to just get her to just kind of chill out a bit about it. Like, yes, it's important to make money because we all have needs, and it's important to, I think, like what you're doing and have like joy and fulfillment, but I think it's also important to take a step back and realize what is important to you. Is it important that you have flexibility, or is it important to you that you work by yourself? Is it important to you that you work with people? Is it important to you that your job is physical, that it's not physical? Like, try and think of those things. I feel like I could do a whole series on jobs and changing your job and starting a business. Why have I never done this before? Let me know if you'd like that. Side note. And then think about, like, is what you're doing what's best for you? Push all the other noise away. Like, you know, is your family gonna disagree with it? They're not the ones who have to go to that shitty job every day. You are, you know? Sorry, like I'm getting really aggressive. Can we just group hug? Can we just group hug? So once you kind of know what's important to you, hopefully it will make your decision easier. I know I've said this many times and I will keep saying it. I journaled. I wrote pros and cons list for years about what I was gonna do professionally. I wrote like scenarios. I also manifested. So I'd write like, this is what I want my life to look like. I want to be able to do this. This is really important to me. This isn't important to me. And it's shifted and pivoted and changed as Thomas has aged and I became a widow. Like, a lot of things have changed, but I knew, like, I need a job that's flexible. I have a son with special needs who we have a lot of appointments. I can't work a 9 to 5 with a boss that doesn't let me take the time. Like, it just isn't gonna work for me. So that was really important to me. I really wanna be creative, and I also knew that leaving Sun and starting Redhead Mare Media was basically the means to the marathon. Like, if my goal is this, like, I want to be able to share my story and travel and help you. And if I can do that and that can become my job, that's the ultimate goal. So for me, like, I have a very specific trajectory that I'm working towards. Yes, it's gone like this, and like there's been crashes and burns and pauses and things, but and I know it'll change too. Like, I'm only in my 30s. And lots of you were in your 20s asking questions like this. So that's my long answer and why I couldn't just text it in a message in the group, because clearly I have a lot of thoughts on all of the things. But let me know what resonated with you, what your advice would be to this marathoner. I think also we get really stuck in what other people will think, and that it's really freaking scary to change your job and to go into the unknown. So by no means am I saying quit your job. No means am I saying that. I'm just saying, like, think about what's important to you. When I left Sun, I had a lot of people message me saying that that really inspired them to shift their career, which was a huge honor to me. But it freaked me out a bit, because I don't want you to ever think that that decision was made lightly. I'm not kidding you when I tell you I had sort of started to think about it when I was pregnant with Thomas. So it had been years in the making. So it wasn't just a flippant decision, obviously. And then, you know, I had worked on my company for months and things. Okay, she is incapable of making a short video, but those are my thoughts. I'm sure you'll have follow-up questions as per usual, so let me know. This could maybe be a series. If you'd like that, let me know like what specific things I could talk about, because I could break it down and we could put it in a little thing. That's it for today. Believe me when I tell you, my next video that I'm gonna post is probably the most exciting one I've ever done. I have an announcement for you, something very cool that's coming down the pipeline, and I can't wait for you to know, so the secret can be out. So stay tuned for that. And then I'm off to see Michelle Obama, so there will be vlogs and things of my aunt and I in Vancouver. Thanks for watching. I just got really nervous thinking about posting that announcement video. Whew! Okay, thank you for watching. Life's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Please remember that, especially when it comes to your career. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. We got lots of time for all of these things to happen. Be kind to yourself. Lace up, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.